Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I am Denise and this is Happy Ode Home. This is my first Christmas video of the season, so thank you for joining me. Very much appreciate you being here. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about my last video before we get started on the tree. And I wanted to express my sincere gratitude for all of the comments that you all left on my channel. I was so overwhelmed. I was really just so surprised and so overwhelmed, and just felt so good about everything that you all said to me. You were so encouraging and so uplifting, and it really had like a deep, profound effect on me. And I'm so grateful. I really wanted to say thank you so much for doing that. I didn't know what the response was going to be when I prepared that video. I mean, I guess it could have gone any way, so I really had no idea. But when you started leaving those comments, I can't tell you how my heart was just filled with joy and happiness and just positive thoughts. So I really want to thank you all for that. That was incredibly gracious of all of you. You guys are incredible. You guys are the best community out there. By far, you really are. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. So, first Christmas video. Okay, so here I am in a new home. I am decorating out my first of probably 2 trees, maybe may do some smaller ones, but 2 large trees, that is. This is a 7.5 foot tree. I'm a little bit limited by, the height of the ceilings, as probably you are too when you put up your trees. So this is a 7.5 foot tree and the ceiling is 8 foot. So that's why I have that in here. It's a large profile tree. It is pre-lit. It is one of the trees that I've had for many years. I don't know how many years, maybe 10 years. But it's still a very nice tree. The lights work great. Like I said, it is pre-lit. It does need to be fluffed. I have already gone through and fluffed it, but I'm just going to do a very brief tutorial about what I do to spread the branches and the fluff. I mean, you all probably already know that. I just wanted to very briefly show you what I do instead of actually being on camera fluffing, which again, I'm sure you all know how to do. So in my last video, I had said I had kind of wanted to do an old world theme. So going through it in my mind, lots of times when I start decorating a tree, ideas come to me and I don't always have everything planned out. I just start doing something, look at it, add more of it, take things away. I have a general idea of what I want to do in my mind, but I change it as I go along the process. So again, I have a couple things that I want to add to it that will make it a little bit more old world, but I'm going to add more things to it then. So it's not going to be a basic old world tree. It's going to have some old world elements to it, but it's still going to be very nice. So let's get started. I'm so glad you are here with me, and just to let you know that you all brought my Christmas spirit back. I was really struggling with the Christmas season, and again, just all of those comments that you left really helped me to want to put out videos for you, because you helped me so much, and in turn, I hope that I am helping you and inspiring you with Christmas joy, Christmas cheer, Christmas ideas. And I just love that we're working together. So, thank you. Okay, all right, well, let's get on with this. So I just wanted to show you very quickly what I do to fluff a tree that comes out of, whether it's a box or however you store it. I store this one in a bag, and again, I've had it for so many years, so it does require fluffing when it comes out of the bag. The tree that I have in my other room comes out perfectly, and I'll show you that when I do that video, and it doesn't require any fluffing, but this is an older tree and it does. So I just wanted to show you quickly what I do. See these like really wiry ones? They're a little bit of a different texture than the tips in the front. I take them and I sort of just put them upward to fill in some of the gaps between the areas, and then just straighten them because, they can, get very curled when they're in the bag or stored in the box. So I straighten them, I separate the branches, and then I take these and just turn them upward a little bit to fill in the space. And that's all I do. Sometimes they may require a little bit of adjusting, based on the way that they're attached to the stem. Sometimes you can move them a little bit left and right, or sometimes they're sticking up a little bit and you just need to push it down. But that's all you need to do for fluffing. And then I just go around each layer, fluff them, and we're good. Okay, so I'm going to start now next on the very first step, a new thing that I've never done before that I am going to show you. I'm excited. Okay, so for the very first time, I am decorating a tree with these little candle lights. Look how cute they are. They are about 3.5 inches high. There's a string of them. And I'm going to wrap them around the tree. And they have a little clip on them, so they clip easily onto a branch. And I'm just gonna curl it around and see how they look. I've never done this before. I just bought these just this year. They have two different types. They have the type that you plug in, and then they have the battery operated ones. So they're individual, they're not on a cord. And I debated which one to do. Should I try the battery operated ones? But I decided on these because I've done battery operated candles before. And you know what? You go through a lot of batteries. The batteries don't last very long. And then when the battery starts to kind of slowly die, it affects the light, and I just wasn't a fan. And if you have 12, 15 lights, then you're using 12 or 15 batteries. So I went with the plug-in option instead. That was just my preference. When they did arrive, I was a little surprised at how small these guys are. They're only like 3.5 inches. I was expecting them to be a little bit longer, but I think it's going to be fine. So I did order, I had one set and then I ordered another set because I just wanted more of them around the tree. So I think they're gonna look cute. And what I do like, they do come with a remote, and the light has a little flickering option. So it just kind of, has an effect of a glowing candle, which is really cute and very, very charming. Not too much to be irritating because I hate like blinking lights on a tree. That drives me crazy, but it's just a very soft flickering effect, which I thought was really charming. So let's go ahead, and I am gonna start to put these on around the tree. So I unraveled them, and they're a little bit of a tangled mess, but I started at the very top of the tree with the first one, and I am going all the way around the tree as opposed to, just trying to intermittently put them throughout the front. I am going around the tree, down in a circular motion, again with the first one on top. And it is a little bit difficult with, kind of a, string mess like this. As you all know, if you put lights on a tree and you don't have pre-lit trees, they're, they can get tangled and they're a big old mess. So yes, I do have the cord to contend with, as opposed to if I had the battery operated ones, there would be no cord. But again, it's fine. I don't think it's that big a deal. Their cord is green, so you can tuck it in. It's going to be covered with ornaments, and I just don't think it's going to be that big a deal. Maybe I'll change my mind at the end, but the way I'm thinking about it, I think it's going to be fine. So I am just going to continue to string these lights around the tree. Like I said, I have 2 sets of them. And hopefully, I think 2 sets is probably going to be about right. So let me continue on with that. Okay, I've got 1 set on, and I just wanted to show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like when it comes out of the package. And I did 1 set, I went around, and then when I stepped back at the end and looked at it, I'm like, there's this whole area over here that I completely missed. So I went around and redid it. And now looking, I probably am going to be a little bit short because we're starting to get to a wider section down here. So I'm going to play around with it a little bit. If I do go around and I'm way short, then I may go back and just do the front area. I'm going to have to play with it. So each set contains 20 lights. And I think they come in different numbers. I believe like there was a set of 12, 20, 24. I don't remember exactly. But there are different variations that you can get. So I'm going to finish with the second set, and then we are going to get to the next part of it. And we're going to put some ornaments on and start decorating. Exciting. Okay, so I have all of the candle string lights on. And yes, for the second strand, I did just focus on the front, kind of doing a zigzag, since I could see that I wasn't going to be able to get around the base of the tree, which is the widest area. So a couple tips in terms of putting them on the branches. Not sure how your tree is, but with our tree, as I was alluding to earlier when I was fluffing, some of the branches are very thin and very wiry. The clips connect very easy to those, as opposed to the big, thicker branches. They still connect to the thicker branches, but it was much easier to connect to the thin branches. And I also tried to stagger them a little bit, like some of them deeper in and some of them more on the tip. I didn't want them all on the tip, and I don't want them all deep inside the tree. So I just kind of tried to stagger between being inside and being on the outer edge. So I think it looks good. They're cute. I'm going to start now with ornaments. I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but what inspired me to do a tree like this was the sofa that I have in this room. It's sort of a metallic sofa, and I don't think I ever showed you the sofa. It's actually the only sofa that I brought from our other house. And it sort of has a metallic-y look. It's like a greenish, brownish, dark, smoky color. And again, it's velvet and has a very metallic-y look to it. So I was inspired by the whole metallic theme, and that's what I'm going to go with the ornaments of, lots of copper and gold and glittery silver. And then in the end, I'm going to try to add a pop of a different color. We'll see how it looks. Maybe I won't like it. Maybe I'll take it off. But just kind of playing around with things to see how everything shakes out. I have so much Christmas stuff, as you know. So I'm just going to be playing around, see what looks good, and hopefully you guys will stay with me. Okay. Okay, I've got all of the ornaments on the tree and I'm really liking the way that it's turning out. I put the lights on and did a sneak peek. It looks great. I'm really happy with it. So I hope you guys will hang around until the end when I do the reveal with the lights. It's really pretty. Okay, so we've got the ornaments on, we've got the little lights on. Next, I'm gonna work on some picks. So I was playing around with different ideas and I have these fabulous magnolia stems. And they're not white. These are cream colored with gold in the middle, green on the outside. I think what I'm gonna try this year is I'm gonna group them together in a set of 3, and I'm gonna add this glittery pine cone to it. It's a very large pine cone. It's glittery, has some greenery on it, and I'm gonna make picks. Maybe 3 or 4 of them. I have to see how many flowers I have, but something like this. You see that? And I'm going to attach it. I am going to make some bows. I have some gold ribbon and I am going to, do something like this and then add them to the tree. So I'm going to see how many I have, but I'm going to do them in a zigzag pattern. So your eye goes down like this. Hopefully I can do 4, if I only have 9 flowers and I can only do 3. But so then I'm gonna place them like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I have these other little picks that I'm thinking about adding, but I wanna see the way it looks with this next step on it and see how much room there is. But it's a little surprise. It's a surprise color that I've never used before, and it's just a tad of it, but we'll see. So hang around. So I wanted to quickly show you how I'm going to make these little bunches. Good news, I actually have 18 of them, so I can make 5 bunches and use a couple still on top. So I'm going to put them, like I said, in zigzag pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but just wanted to show you how I'm putting them together. Normally I would be using zip ties. I can't find my zip ties. I don't feel like going out to the hardware store to get some, so I'm gonna improvise. So I am putting together, 3 bunches of the magnolia, three flower stems of magnolia, 1 large acorn stem, and then creating just sort of like a little triple loop here in front with some ribbon. And normally then I would take a zip tie and put it around, which is easiest, but since I don't have the zip ties, I'm just gonna take the ribbon and actually put it around the stem to hold it together, because when they're held together, they go easier into the tree and they stay better. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I have a triple loop here. I'm gonna have a little bit hanging out. I'm gonna cut that and just have it secured by the ribbon. So hope that helps you. Look at that, isn't that pretty? It's gonna look so great. I'm excited to see it at the end. Hey, so I'm back. It's been about 2 hours since my last segment. And I've been working on my 5 picks. Yes, for 2 hours. So I got them where I want them. And I want you guys to know there's a lot of fiddling that goes on behind the scenes. And if you're trying to do this and you don't get it right away, I totally understand that, because I have to put it in, I have to step back like 3 times. No, it's not right. It doesn't look right there. It needs to be up an inch, or it needs to be to the left, or the bow needs to be to the right. So there's just so much fiddling that does go on with this. Tips. Definitely easier with the zip ties. as I told you earlier, I don't have zip ties, so I was just trying to tie it around the stem. Didn't work as well, a lot more fiddling involved than probably should have been had I just had the zip ties on there. Number 2, I've said this to you before if you've seen some of my other videos. It is definitely easier, the first thing to do to your tree, if you are doing, clusters like this with bows and the pine cones and the flowers. If you're doing large clusters, it's definitely easier to do them first. The first thing you put on the tree, your ribbon and your clusters, since they're large, is by far the easiest. As you know, on my videos, I'm always playing with new ideas. I don't know what I'm going to do for that particular tree, so I put my ornaments on first. But again, if you guys, decorate a tree, you love it one year, you're going to do the exact same thing the next year, I recommend that you do your clusters first because they're so big, they take up a lot of room, and it's just easier. I mean, when I put these on, that's why it took so long. When I put these on, so I have to take off ornaments, I have to rearrange ornaments, I have to make sure my ribbon is right. Again, stand back like 5 times, go back. Oh, well, now that ornament needs to be changed. Need to move one of these lights down, need to move this back. So that's what I have to do, but I'm trying to give you guys my tips to avoid that aggravation of having to do that. So, tip number 2, do the clusters first. Tip number 3, the ribbon I use, the flowers, everything is very pliable and malleable. So, with the ribbon, since it is wired ribbon, you definitely want to use wired ribbon. You can bend it and move it. And, some of them I did a double loop, some of them I did a triple loop. And I did a double loop on a couple because I was actually running out of ribbon. So I'm starting to get a little worried towards the end. So the last couple were only a double loop. But again, when you get this on the tree, the flowers, everything is movable. The head is movable. This is movable. I can take it out, put it in. The petals, everything has to be wired so that you can move it. And a lot of the Christmas decor stuff is anyway. So that is my 3rd tip. So now I'm going to, I have these really large, aren't these fun? Grasses, I guess. They're kind of bronzy and metallic-y. And the pine cones are large and gold. I am going to put these in my tree. They're really heavy. I hope it's not going to ruin anything. I'm going to put them in my tree. Again, probably something I should have done first since this is so big. But I'm going to use these as my topper. I'm going to put a couple of flowers in as well. Oh, this is cute. Look at this. Oh, look, they're kind of like wings. Don't they look like wings on the back? Wow, kind of like that. Anyway, so I'm going to put these in, see how that turns out. Hopefully the whole tree isn't going to like fall down. And then after that, remember I told you about, I have a little touch of a color that I've never used before that I want to add. And that is orange. Aren't these cute? I got these little picks, a little bit of orange, a little bit of red, with some green, and I want to add this tiny little pop of color. And it is ever so slight. So, all this is metallic-y and off-white and cream and silver and gold and copper. So thinking, well, is adding orange and red just going to overpower it and take away from it? Because it's so little color, I don't believe so. And I have these tiny little acorns as well that kind of complement the bigger acorns. So I'm just going to take one of these, just sort of stick it in there just to make the cluster a little bit bigger. And I have, 10 of these. And I'm going to just pop them in like this so they sort of hang down. just for that little pop of orange, which I think is going to complement the copper really well and the ribbon and just give it a tiny bit of color. All right, that is what I'm gonna do. I'll be back. Hopefully it's not gonna be 2 hours, and let you know how it's going. It worked. I'm so happy. Nothing fell down because they are so heavy. I know you can't see it. I haven't moved the camera yet, but I got that up there. I love it. It's like a big fanned effect. I'm gonna put the rest of these picks on, then I'm gonna light it up, put some music on, and let you enjoy. Thank you so much. Appreciate you all being here. Love you all so much. If you like it, please. And I will see you next time for the next video.